And thanks so much for joining us for this live Monday edition of Virginia This Morning. I'm Cheryl Miller. In those 34 days between Thanksgiving and New Year's this year, it's estimated that generous Americans will donate a total of over $100 billion to charities. Now, it's a wonderful thing to do in this season of giving, but there are some things you should know before you share your generosity. How do you choose the right charity? Our next guest is known as the Donation Defender. We welcome Sharon Lipinski to Virginia This Morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us. You put your stuff out here on the table and went, that looks like the mail I get on a daily basis this time of year. We really do get flooded with all kinds of things, don't we?
We do. And then one thing you want to do this season is keep it simple, because you're going to be bombarded with requests. You're going to get it in the mail. They're going to be in front of stores, friends, family, churches. So just choose like 2 or 3 issues to talk about with your family so that you don't get overwhelmed.
But sometimes in that pile of things will be something that really touches your heart. So you have to kind of maybe look at it, but maybe not quite as long.
That's right. Just focus. 2 or 3 issues, charities to consider, and then stop.
So is this maybe a conversation we want to have before we get into the throes of the holiday season and make that decision?
You know, I recommend having a family donation plan. So come together as a family, talk about why giving to charity is important, set a budget for how much you're going to give, and then decide how we're going to give it away. Are we going to vote? Are we going to pull names out of the hat? And there's no right or wrong answer here. It's just kind of whatever works for your family.
Mm-hmm. And this is a great time to talk to the children about giving and maybe teach that lesson. So how do we start that conversation, and how do we teach that lesson?
Well, one thing that I recommend is adapting to your kids. So when you have young children, money is an abstract concept. Don't give money with young kids. Instead, collect books, go to a senior center. And as children age, they're going to gravitate towards certain ways of giving. You know, some, if they're technology friendly, maybe they want to build websites, maybe they want to work with pets. So structure opportunities for your kids to give in the ways that they want to give.
And this is also a good time to start working and giving with a food bank, because those are always in need, but especially this time of year. And that's a good lesson for the children.
Absolutely. So let's say you have $10 that you want to give to your local food bank. You could go to your grocery store. I went there and I bought these things, $9.86. Okay. If instead I went to your local food bank's website, went to their online donation form and donated $10, they could turn it into 40 pounds of food.
40 pounds of food for $10.
For $10. So you could barely provide lunch, or just give them money and do an entire family of 4 for an entire week. Your food bank is a hugely important part of your community, so give them money, not food.
So again, that's where the research comes in, because these charities have a system in place year-round, so they can utilize that money a lot better than we can.
They can. They know what they're doing.
That's a great thing. So what about once the holiday season is over? We've done the giving, but the need doesn't end at that point, and this is a lesson, as we said, can be taught year-round.
Exactly. You know, unfortunately, Christmas is a terrible time of year to donate, because you have so many demands on your time and your money right now. So do give now. It is important. But January 1st, the homeless are still homeless. School year starts, children need school supplies. So set a family budget. How much are we going to give every month? And have this conversation with your kids every month and give that money away every month. Consciously talk about it and give them that example of living a generous life.
As we talked about, we get flooded mailbox-wise and email inbox-wise with requests for money. How do we go about choosing a charity? How do we know that they're a legitimate charity?
Well, unfortunately, you just have to research it first. There's just no other way to do it. And I know researching can be overwhelming, so I have a wonderful tool on my website that your viewers can download, Living Generously Every Day, and it helps you look at the impact the charity is having, the reputation that the charity has, and their financial situation. And you can use it to look at a small local charity or a large international charity. You know, so it's a really versatile tool that I really recommend that people use, so that you know your money is making a difference, because it can and it will.
Right, we will link that to our website at WTVR.com so people can find that. And that's one of the things, one of the questions I always like to ask with a charity is, how much of the money that I give you is actually going to help people as opposed to pay administrative costs? Is that the kind of information we can find on your website as well?
Yeah, you want to get to what is the impact the charity is having, and that's the most important question.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I noticed that you mentioned too is set up a donation team, because if we pool our resources, we can even make a bigger impact than we can like at the food bank.
Yeah, absolutely. You pool your money and your time. So you don't have to research the charities all by yourself all the time. You know, who can do it this month, who can do this, share that work, and it becomes so much easier and more effective.
So this is something not only we can do as a family, but we can do with our friends as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Any one last thing we need to know this holiday season as far as charitable giving?
Well, my favorite tip is to call a charity you're thinking about donating, because a website is kind of a structured, carefully crafted message. If you really want to get to know a charity, give them a call.
All right, Sharon Lipinski, thank you so much for joining us today. Lots of great tips this holiday season, and don't forget the main thing is to give. All right, to learn more, just go onto our show website at WTVR.com/VTM. We'll put a link on there for you so that you can find out more.